You're listening to the Monday Night Community Show with Daniel on BRFM.
This is the Daniel Monday Night Community Show on demand through YouTube. Thank you very much for choosing to listen to us through this method. If you'd like to keep up to date with when I add new interviews, then subscribe to this channel. And as always, it's great to hear you here in the studio.
Yeah, well, good evening. I thought I'd get here early this year. Be one of your first Christmas guests.
Yes, yeah. So I was hoping you could start off by covering the increased risk from fires in the home during the festive season and some home safety as well.
Yeah, well, I thought I'd get up here a little bit earlier. I know I did a slot for you last year. I thought I'm going to be getting before people put up their Christmas lights, etc. I see there's a few appearing on the way up here tonight, so people are actually decorating their houses now.
Yeah, very early this year it seems.
So obviously we just like to cover the fact that there is an increased risk from fire during the festivity or the festive season and the lead up to it, which is why I'm coming up here today. We sort of like to ask people to think about their safety when they're putting up the Christmas decorations and preparing for the season, because Christmas trees and lights, they don't get used very often. They get stored in the loft, so it's important that before you actually use them, test them before you put them up. It's no good decorating the whole of your outside of your house and finding that they don't work. So test them before you put them up. You could have had mice or something gnawing at the wires, or they could have got damp or something like that. So there could have been sort of water damage. So it's important that they're actually working properly. A lot of lights now are LED, which the bulbs are not replaceable. Although they're low energy, it's important that if a string of the LEDs are not working, that you don't use the lights, because it could overheat the others. And if you use the decorations with the more conventional bulbs, make sure that they're all working, because the design of Christmas lights, it puts extra load onto the other lights, and could overheat the transformer if they've got a transformer. So sort of just looking at those, obviously the obvious things, like don't put your bulbs next to any flammable, any paper decorations. And the last thing on lights is we'd like people just to check if they're buying new ones this year, that they buy from a reputable retailer, and check that they conform to the British standard. There are quite a few rogue decorations out there. They might seem cheap, but they're cheap for a reason. They may not conform to the safety standards the strict safety standards that we have in this country. We all like to have a tree, so the real trees are becoming more popular. But if you're going to put it up early, make sure that you keep it watered. Get it in a bucket with plenty of water in the bottom, because unfortunately real trees do burn. The artificial trees have to conform to some fire safety standard, but real trees burn, but a well-watered tree will burn slower should anything unfortunate happen. So those are sort of just a couple of the basic things that we'd ask people to think about when they're preparing for the festive season and preparing their homes.
And is there anything else we can do, especially if you've got people visiting your home?
Well, while fire safety is important throughout the year, the added distraction of Christmas makes it especially important to be vigilant during the festive season. We want everybody to have fun, but Kent Fire Rescue just asking people just to take a little bit extra care over the festive season, and ensure their families and loved ones are protected from fire. If you've got, anybody needs to have a working smoke alarm in their home. This will give you an early sign of anything wrong in your home, and make sure it's working. So I would ask everybody to test their smoke alarms. Make sure they've got one. There are ways that you can get a smoke alarm fitted if you haven't got a smoke alarm. They cost very little money if you go and buy one yourself. But with people in the home, you've got time off of work. It might be a nice time to have a little drink. But if you're cooking, we ask you to refrain from drinking. Don't want to spoil the fun. But in the kitchen, it's where the vast majority of the fires start. Generally through distraction. People may get distracted while the kids are opening their presents and things like that. So if you have a drink, it adds to that distraction and heightens the risk. So we ask that you sort of do a lot of your prep first, and sort of perhaps wait till after you've cooked before you have a drink. Make sure obviously everything's turned off after you finish cooking. We'd like to sort of remind people about overloading their electrics, because we plug loads of extra stuff in during the festive period, and no home has enough sockets. So we'd ask people to think about their use of extension leads, have sort of just bear in mind what they're plugging in. During the winter we use high-powered heaters, etc. If we're adding to that all the lights and the Christmas lights to extension leads, then there is the potential for them to become overloaded and the increased risk of fire. So the best place is, if you're going to use an extension lead, use only one. Never plug an extension lead into an extension lead. High-powered stuff goes straight in the sockets, so generally anything that heats, put the plug straight in the socket. And then little tip is, all your little lights and things have the potential for the fuses to blow, so make sure you got a few spares in, a few little 3 and 5 amp fuses in for all the little bits. And when you're buying all the extra electrical items for Christmas, just bear in mind that all those things, if you're overloading the sockets, they could have the potential to overheat if the transformers or power packs are covered with any items. When you've got family round your house, I know it may seem a bit strange, but think how you would react if you didn't know the place that you were in. Especially if you've got elderly relatives coming round, or people that coming round that you don't really know your home. So just make them aware of where to go at night, where you keep a spare set of keys if you lock the door, or make sure they've got their phone with them. Make sure they know that you've got working smoke alarms. And more importantly, try and keep your escape route clear. Obviously, all the prezzies and everything that we get at Christmas, it's all too tempting to stack them on the landing, but try and keep the route from your bedrooms to the front door or your final exit route clear. It's really important, because if it's dark or there's a fire and the electrics have blown, then you want to get out safely. Your smoke alarm's going to give you the early warning that you need, but you need to get out safely. Get out, call us out, and then we will come and deal with any incident in your home. So those are sort of the basic safety things that we need to think about around Christmas, really.
And I know you wanted to cover some winter safety, especially regarding the roads and vehicles.
Yeah, Daniel, see, people are aware that Kent Fire and Rescue, we attend road crashes, and that is becoming an increasing amount, or big part of our work. As fires reduce, the risk on the roads remains, and in the winter that is more so. I don't want to be all doom and gloom, but we attend over 1,000 road crashes a year. That's what Kent Fire and Rescue attend. We don't go to all of them. We go to the ones that there is the potential for people to need to be extricated from their car. And road crashes, they're the biggest killer of teenagers. 1 in 5 teenagers are involved in a crash in their first year. Shocking statistics. But then we go on to the male age group, 17 to 20. They're 7 times more likely to have a crash than the average male. Move that to between 2 and 5 in the morning, and this age group are 17 times more likely to have a crash. Now, all of these could have fatal consequences. Unfortunately, there are sort of alcohol involved in some of these, and that's one of the things we sort of stress to people is no drink is best. It's difficult to know how much is any drink, so you don't know whether you're over the limit or near the limit. So it's best to not have anything to drink. We talk about nominated drivers. If you're going out with a group of people, it's all too easy to become tempted. So what we'd say is tuck yourself for 20 quid away and treat yourself to a taxi. Keep that money, and it's safer to get a taxi home. So if you're going out pre-Christmas, have fun, but don't be tempted to drive. Now, as the weather gets colder, we need to sort of make our vehicles winter ready. So you need to ask yourself, is your car winter ready? You may check the levels, your oils, etc., sort of regularly, but during the winter it's important to sort of check them, more regularly, especially things like your screen wash. Once they start salting the roads, you will be chomping your way through your screen wash, and you don't want to run out halfway through a journey because you won't be able to see out your windscreen because you haven't got anything to wash it with. So they're sort of just tiny little things. Make sure your lights are clean. The salt on the road, it's just amazing how they sort of the usefulness of your lights goes down as soon as they got a small film of salt on them. So just get in the practice before you get in your car in the morning. Just run a damp sponge over your lights, check they're all clean, check they're all working. And when you're driving, is just leave that extra bit of distance. If the roads are wet, they could be slippery. Just leave that extra bit of distance between yourself and the car in front. You'll get people come up behind you. Don't be intimidated. Let them past, and just keep that space. Obviously, the best rule is to turn your mobile off. Don't get distracted by your mobile. And Kent Fire and Rescue, you may have seen our mascot at our open day. That's warning people of the distractions of mobiles with all the apps, etc. They are a distraction in the vehicle, so it's best just not to use it, tuck it out of the way, and wait until you've stopped before handling your mobile. One thing I would like to cover today is the new road safety experience that Kent Fire and Rescue are working on. We have opening in April a brand new facility at our new Rochester site. You'll be aware that the Medway fire station is splitting, and you have a small station, a station at Rochester and at Chatham. And part of this is the new road safety experience. Now, this is the first and the only one in the country. It's an interactive view of all things fire safety, road safety. And we invite schools and individuals to come up to our new centre when it's open in April, to be able to get a real insight into our work, into the effects of car crashes, and just give you some pointers to driving safely, really. It looks really good. So it is currently being built. And I'd urge people just to go onto the website www.kent.fire-uk.org to be able to. There's a link on the homepage, and just take a look. Really.
I know you next wanted to cover a little bit more about a safety plan, I think.
Yes, Daniel. Around this time of year, Kent Fire and Rescue always issue a safety plan. This year, it's called a safety and well-being plan, because I mentioned earlier that fires are fortunately dropping, but so is our funding. So Kent Fire and Rescue are looking at what we do, what more we can do, and how we can do what we do with less, without affecting the level of service that we provide for the public. Kent Fire and Rescue are one of the top performing fire and rescue services in the country, and we want to continue to be there, and being innovative in the way we do our work. This means looking at what we do now, looking how we can do it better, and looking how we can actively work with other agencies to be able to improve the all-round service that we all offer. So we've got a plan out at the moment, and it's out under consultation, and the consultation's open till the 16th of January. It's an online document, but you can request a paper copy by calling Kent Fire and Rescue on 01622 692121. If you are online, it's easier to look at it online, but you can request via Twitter and Facebook at Kent Fire Rescue, and have a look at what we're going to do. Now we're looking at how we can do things differently. Sheppey is just about to roll out Red Ones, which is the fire brigade responding to medical emergencies. This is working in partnership with South East Coast Ambulance and the NHS to ensure that should there be a life-threatening medical need, the nearest resource is sent. Now, this is not instead of, this is as well as an ambulance, but there are the chances that we could get there 2-5 minutes earlier than the ambulance. It's all about where our resources are placed. So you may, in the initial stages, have a team of trained firefighters. We're all trained received the training from South East Coast Ambulance to attend these medical emergencies. So heart attacks, breathing difficulties, etc. And that's something we're rolling out. We're constantly looking at what we can do. I mentioned earlier this was a safety and well-being plan. Safety and well-being go hand in hand. So it's only right that we look at the people that carry out our home fire safety visits. Well, let's do a safe and well visit. So what other services do you need? What other services can we perhaps signpost to partner agencies, etc. So it would be a more all-round, a safe and well visit. So we're looking at rolling that out in the future and working with other agencies and other partnerships to be able to deliver services more effectively. We're also looking at different ways of working. So you may have heard of the haircare network. Now, we can only get out to certain areas of the public, and we've sort of looked at how partner agencies can assist us. One of these ways is by signing up hairdressers and barbers who have times to talk to their customers while they're having their hair cut, It may be the only time that say an elderly person may leave the house. So it's an ideal opportunity for for the hairdresser, I think, to chat. They'll all be given a package, and perhaps if they need a bit of assistance, they can signpost them to Kent Fire and Rescue. It's just about everybody working together to be able to find different ways of working. So as I said, the plan is available online. Have a read. There's a survey to fill out where you can give your opinions, and then those surveys are all collated, and the information goes to the Fire Authority in February. It's a little bit of an insight into what we do. Even if you don't know fully what Kent Fire and Rescue does, have a look at the website, have a look at the safety plan or the safe and wellbeing plan, and tell us what you think. Tell us whether you think the way we think should be done is a good way of working and working efficiently.
And I know you next wanted to cover about how you can get more advice than the home safety visits. I think you're going to cover your open day as well.
Yes, Daniel. As always, Kent Fire and Rescue do offer a home safety visit service. These are either carried out by crews after an incident, or we have a specialist team which you can book an appointment with. And if you have concerns over fire safety, they will come out and maybe if you fit some smoke alarms, there's no charge for those. We sort of ask people to promote this to perhaps the more vulnerable people, perhaps some relatives. You may have someone that you're concerned about that sort of smokes in bed, perhaps. So just sort of ask them to sort of whether they would like a home safety visit, and we may be able to come out and give some good advice to them and prevent a fire happening in their home. If you want a home visit yourself, I mean, there is a free phone number that you can call, and that's 0800 923 7000. That's just for the home safety visit team. If there's nobody, if it's out of office hours, you can just leave a message and we'll get back to you. You can request it via email. That's home@kent.fire-uk.org. And sort of the things that we can offer some for the vulnerable. We offer some flame-proof bedding packs, perhaps some fire retardant spray, so for the very vulnerable. But general home fire safety is always good. Our teams come out and they offer that. Or why not pop down to the station at the weekend? We do have another day where we're opening the doors of the station, and that's on Saturday the 5th of December. We're combining it with a little bit of festive entertainment. So from 10 o'clock on Saturday the 5th, the big red doors will be open, and you can come into the fire station, bring your kids, and have a look at the fire engine and the boat. You can get some Christmas fire safety advice or fire safety advice for the home. And we're being supported this year by the Broadway Choir. Sheppey Singers and the St John's Band have kindly agreed to give their time. So there'll be a little bit of entertainment between 12:30 and 2 o'clock. So the station will be open from 10. Come down and talk to your firefighters. Come down and talk to the fire safety team. And you can get more information and some literature on fire safety in the home. So hopefully, we'll see you at the weekend. It'll be good to fill the station once again. Our summer open day was very, very successful. This is the first time we've opened it pre-Christmas. And I'd just like to take this early opportunity to wish all your listeners a very happy and a very safe Christmas on behalf of Kent Fire and Rescue.
And as always, it's great to have you here. Thank you very much for coming along, and of course have a good Christmas yourself as well.
Thank you.
That is Andy from Kent Farm Rescue, all as part of the regular slot I do with Kent Fire and Rescue Sheppey. Andy from Sheppey Fire Station.